Now, there have been a multiple number of protests in Verulam, Phoenix and Tongaat outside Durban due to a lack of water. An estimated 2,000 households are battling dry taps, some as long as 3 months now. Let's speak to the Minister now about the problem in the area. Minister, good evening, and thank you for coming on News at Prime. We spoke about this about 2 or 3 weeks ago when this problem began to emerge. Some promises were made. But let's talk about where we are now. Are the people of Verulam getting water? Is the tap water running as we speak right now?
Good evening to you and good evening to the viewers. We're in the Tegwini, and we've been here. This is the second day working with Mayor Kaunda and the municipality and communities. We are tackling challenges of water in the hotspots that eThekwini as a municipality say they have. Of course, currently the most prominent one is the northern areas of CBD, Phoenix, Newzroom, KwaMashu, up to Tongaat and Verulam. Now, it's common cause that people have been on the streets demonstrating and protesting, and some of them clashed with police, and some of them got injured, and we apologize for all of these matters. We are affected as water because that is the original grievance that led to such demonstrations. But today we're at a meeting, quite a big meeting in Verulam. People were allowed to speak their grievances, make suggestions, make proposals, and there were various organizations there, community-based organizations. We engaged well, and the meeting went very well. The takeoffs there is that we have a deadline of the 15th of February. The date by which we must have at least returned things to normal in terms of supply of water, as opposed to what is happening now. Currently, Verulam does get water, but it's very intermittent. They get it in an hour or two, and then water is no longer there. And automatically a little bit better. Phoenix, they don't get water either during the day or during the night. So it's quite a situation that is undesirable given the fact that water is essential. Now, what is going to be happening between now and the 15th? The technicians, all combined, DWS, Utugela, and eThekwini, they are working on valves to remove the air blockages in the pipes. And so far, they've gone halfway, and it does seem to be working, because where they've gone through, water is coming out. And once they finish, which is estimated at 15th February, we will then see what else needs to be done. Yeah. But we've asked, and I'm going to be calling the mayor of eThekwini to release the head of water, Mr. Msweli, from meetings and all of that, to be full-time on the ground. And I've asked the chair of the board, to release the COO to be on the ground, because I want them to lead from the ground. I know DG and DDG of Water and Sanitation are part of this, but they will come here once in 2 weeks, as we previously decided. But in the team that is going to be meeting twice a week, we include community members represented by Verulam Water Crisis Committee.
Right.
They have some people who have knowledge of water. They will be working together just to facilitate communication on one hand, but to be transparent on the other, and also to bring in all suggestions and proposals. And after the 15th, we will come back, convene another meeting, and account.
What have the people said then will happen until the 15th? Because previously they had said, of course, they are going to continue with their protests right up until there's water coming out of their taps.
Nobody in the meeting spoke about that. People said at least this is giving them hope, some assurance, and they are saying their involvement in the war room, meeting twice a week, adds to quality of communication and working together. And they've undertaken to participate and get involved. We asked the Roshan, who is leading the Verulam Crisis Committee, to come forward to address the community on this, and it did make an undertaking that they will participate on behalf of the community, just to make sure that we work together.
The question of tankers that arrive at midnight or sometimes don't arrive at all, and if they do arrive, they are at the end of the road because the places are uphill and therefore the trucks cannot drive up. How are you resolving that?
Well, if I hear well, you're talking about tankers.
Yes, tankering, yeah. The challenges with tankering.
Yes.
The crisis committee is saying they arrive late, around midnight.
Yes.
They are in an unsafe place and people have got to walk there at some point.
Yes. We've been insisting on them to manage their tankers better so that there is no community that doesn't have water at all for 4 days, for 3 days. And it affects all of us as a sector when people report to you that they haven't had water for the last 4 days. And therefore, we've called for better management of tankers. eThekwini themselves are going to be increasing their tankers by 100, but that 100 means also the replacement of those that are no longer working. But these are temporary measures that we are not necessarily proud of. What we want to take pride of and on is to fix our pipes, fix pipe water, clean water, supply it to the community. But in the meantime, it's the supply that is intermittent. I think the situation has improved in Tongaat. I'll be going there tomorrow in the afternoon. But the situation there has improved, even though it's not 100%. In Verulam, they are getting water, but it's very intermittent and unreliable. And then Phoenix is getting water either during the day or at night, and that needs to be stopped, and people get water as they need water. So there are a combination of things that are working. Intermittent supply, supplemented by tankers, and then these tankers must then improve. I know the mayor is saying that the number is quite limited. They are tankers, because they are trying to limit the issue of hiring because it costs quite a lot of money. And we are saying, in the meantime, everything must be done just to make sure that everyone has water in a reasonable way.
So the last time we spoke, you remember, speaking of money, it was the question of the procurement of the valves, which you're telling me that that's the process that they're currently busy with in Tongaat, and it's going to take up until the 15th of February to get to the other areas. So one of the issues that was raised is that the procurement was taking too long. Could have been either because of the December break, or it could have been the fact that they needed a dispensation for emergency procurement. Have all the parts that are required been procured at this point?
Well, this time around, it's a question of providing leadership, which we are providing together with the mayor. It's a question of applying pressure on officials and engineers and those who are contracted to do specific tasks. And this is in supply, plenty of it. I'm here even tomorrow, and we are in touch all the time. And that is by way of making sure that we have presence in ensuring that work is done. and even day and night if necessary. And therefore, we are working such that we improve efficiencies, we improve presence at work, so that all the hours are spent on work, so that we get the kind of turnaround that we want this time around. But last time, of course, we did say that we will be done by the 28th of February. But when the contractor got to the site and started working, it became clear to him that he would need they would need more days. But in addition to that, the issue of valves have been identified as a key solution. Material has been ordered. It's a question of just working on the 60 valves and fixing them. That's all. Thank you.
Minister, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on. Minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mchunu, there on the interventions currently and in the future.